Hello, everybody. Welcome to Drive Thru. I'm your host, Tony T. As we broadcast live here on PickDawgz and Sports Chat Place YouTube channel and throughout social media. We'll get you out here well before the top of the hour. Give you guys enough time to get those bets in for the primetime games. And that's what we do here in the Drive Thru, Monday through Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, is deliver live free sports picks for the games beginning at 7 p.m. Eastern Time and later. And to deliver those winners, our professional handicappers over at PickDawgz and at Sports Chat Place. Let's take a peek at who's on the show with us today. All right, Ron Zawacky will sign in a little later. We got Tony Brown from Las Vegas, Big Al McMordie, Ruffolo, Ninos, and it's Mitch. Wednesdays with Mitch. Here's how they're going to line up for this evening. Ruffolo, McMordie, Brown, Ninos, Zawacky, Mitch, and I will close this one out. All right, let's get the show underway here. Lots of games in primetime, although we had some afternoon baseball, but still plenty to talk about and give out some picks here in the primetime hour from Major League Baseball. We got that big hockey game, game one of the Stanley Cup Finals. But let's go ahead, let's get the show underway. Let's welcome in Chris Ruffolo. You'll find him over at PickDawgz. We're just fine work up there. Chris, how's it going?
What's going on, Tony? It's good to see you.
Good to see you. All right, here we go. 7 Eastern time. We got the Blue Jays here hosting the Orioles. Well, we've got the Blue Jays now up to 305, total of 9.
Yeah, and I think it's the price raises for good reason. Personally, I mean, I'd see Bruce Zimmerman on the mound. I'd say for the first couple weeks of the season, I'd be on him like white on rice. Maybe even against the Toronto Blue Jays, but not lately. The Zimmerman has been a far cry from the money machine that we were using to cash tickets left and right at the start of the season. In his last 5 starts, Zimmerman 0-3 with a 9.47 ERA and 8.52 FIP, suggesting that he's pitching pretty much as bad as his numbers would suggest. And, I mean, the Orioles have lost 4 of the 5 starts in that span, and they've lost them convincingly. I mean, you look at Zimmerman's last 2 road starts, the Baltimore Orioles were outscored 20-3 by the Boston Red Sox and the Kansas City Royals, 2 teams that I think Toronto has a little bit more offensive potential than, especially over the Royals, who have had their cold stretch over the last month or so. I'm going to go with Toronto's team total over 5.5 in this one. You're seeing it around a coin flip price. I would even play it up to 6.5 at plus 130, maybe even 7.5. I think that's around plus 210. But I think Toronto's team total, one of the best bets on the board tonight.
All right, we got Chris coming in here with the team total here. He's going to look at this Blue Jays team total over 5.5 here against the Orioles. Yeah, it's hard to argue that when you look at Zimmerman's numbers and effectiveness here. Ineffectiveness, a pitcher who pitches to high contact, and one thing that really scares me here is that 2.18 home runs per 9. It doesn't scare me; it gives me more confidence in your selection here. 2.18 home runs per 9 innings.
And not only that, a 360 opposing batting average in that 5-start stretch that I mentioned earlier, basically, since the wheels have fallen off the cart for Zimmerman. So, I think even in a losing effort yesterday, Toronto was able to put up 5 runs. A game that maybe you could argue they should have had a better performance in, but Jordan Lyles has been one of the better options for the Orioles. Like I said, the Jays still found a way to put up 5 runs in that game. When you're giving up 20 runs in your last 2 road starts the way that Zimmerman has, I think there's some potential for the Blue Jays to go off tonight.
All right, we got here with the Chris Blue Jays team total over 5.5 runs against the Orioles. This one will have a start time of 7 Eastern time over on MLB Extra News channel. All right, Chris, let's go over at PickDawgz. We put up some great numbers here the past 30 days. 663 units of profit, all documented over at PickDawgz. Still a handful of games from Major League Baseball in the primetime hour. We also have the big game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals. What do you have going on over at PickDawgz Premium?
Tonight, PickDawgz Premium, I have my $15 pick-off play still on the board. It's my pick-off play of the week. Normally, we just go daily. This is my favorite play of the week for $15. You guys can get that. Or that $15 play, also part of my walk-off Wednesday MLB 3-pack. Got that for $39.95. Or the options are still there to go long-term. 3 days, 7 days, 30 day, all the way up to a year, whether it's just with me or another capper as part of the 2-for-1 capper deal. You go with anyone you see on the show tonight. You go me and Tony, Big Al, Little Al, Tony Brown, Mitch, Rod, any of us you'll make some money with. You just got to go over to PickDawgz Premium to check it out. I also got my my MLB season pass still on the board, so tons of options for you guys at PickDawgz Premium.
Yeah, a lot of options, guys. Get on board with Chris Ruffolo over at PickDawgz Premium, showing great results here the past 30 days. 663 units of profit, all documented, showing profit past 7 days, last 24 hours as well. Of course, he's got the 3-pack from MLB. He's got his $15 pick-off play on the side as well. But of course, the long-term pass is good. You get on board with Chris with that 7-day all-sports pass. You get all Chris's premium plays for 7 days. In play here, the first 3 games of the Stanley Cup Finals. Of course, they're on this rotation Wednesday, Saturday, and Monday. So that will get you all the first. Get you the first 3 games of the Stanley Cup Finals. And the remainder of the NBA Finals, if there's a Game 7, well, that will fit within that 7-day period as well. And of course, all of Chris's plays for Major League Baseball with that 7-day All Sports Pass, your best value over at PickDawgz. You can add a second capper with that 2-for-1 cap promotion. Even greater value there. All right, Chris, is always great having your show. Need that success. Of course, so we'll talk to you tomorrow. But I know you're a real busy guy with the morning show as well as the videos.
Tons of stuff at PickDawgz Premium. Got videos, got live shows, got that YouTube VIP Premium as well. One of the best values going. But you can, if you're not sick of my face, one day on the drive-through isn't enough either as well apparently. So, but no, we got tons of stuff going on, tons of free pick videos. So yeah, definitely check all that stuff out at PickDawgz.
All right, check out Chris there on PickDawgz. All right, Chris, have a great evening. We'll talk with you next week.
Thanks, Tony. See you later.
You got it. Chris Ruffolo here on The Drive. Let's continue on here with our coverage. Got a note from Rod Zawacky. I got his picks, but he's dealing with strong winds in his area, so he's hoping that he can sign in. So he just high wind warning where he's at. So let's continue on here with the show. Let's welcome in Big Al McMordie. He is the top units producer over at PickDawgz for 2022. He's doing fine work over at PickDawgz. Let's bring him in right now. And we got Big Al ready to go here. Big Al McMordie. Big Al, how you doing?
Doing well. How are you, Tony?
Doing great. All right, here we go at 7 Eastern time. MLB has the Yankees here hosting the Rays. The Yankees, $1.40, total of 7 now.
Yeah, I mean, Yankees, obviously, they're red hot. They've won 12 out of 13. They're doing it with pitching. In those 13 games, 4 shutouts, and then 4 other games where they've allowed just 1 run. So 8 out of their last 13, they've given up 1 run or less. It just doesn't get any better than that. The one game that they lost out of the last 13, of course, was with Nestor Cortez. I've been on him a lot this season. He's been pitching great, but the wheels finally came off his last game, and he didn't look like Cy Young as he had the previous 10 starts. And he gave up 4 runs, I think 4 in the 3rd inning. So now he's back on the mound today. He's going up against Shane McClanahan, and I'm going to bet that that's going to be more of a trend rather than just like a one-off. I think he's going to have a bad performance today as well. And I like Tampa Bay in this spot. We're going to go against the red-hot Yankees. Tampa Bay 88-62 plus 24.2 net games versus winning teams. They're also 30-11 when the total is 7 runs or less, as it is here, including 8-0 their last 8 on the road and 8-1 behind Shane McClanahan. So that bodes well for Tampa Bay as an underdog here. Should see the price around plus 124. They're 62-35 plus 26 net games versus division. Conversely, the Yankees versus division rivals, they're 56-51, but on the money line minus 21.6 net games. I'm going to take the Tampa Bay Rays to bounce back from that 2-0 loss last night.
All right, here we go with Big Al here with Tampa Bay here, plus 120 against the Yankees. Yeah, hard to argue that because when you look at McClanahan, he's striking out 35% strikeout rate, good control, ground balls 49%, and he's matching numbers a little better than Cortez.
Yeah, I mean, look, this game's really going to come down to which Cortez do we get? Do we get the one, from, 5 or 6 days ago, or do we get the one for the first 10 starts? If he goes out and, pitches like he was the first 10 starts, then probably Tampa Bay's going to lose. But I'm betting that he's going to, regress a little bit, and at the price, I'll take Tampa Bay plus $1.24.
All right, Big Al here on the Rays plus 120 against the Yankees. This one to have a start time here, 7 p.m. Eastern time on MLB Network. All right, Big Al, let's take a look over at PickDawgz Premium. We're the top unit producer over at PickDawgz here for 2022, 3,015 units of profit. That is all documents. So if you go over to PickDawgz, you can check it out there over on the site. And of course, get on board with one of Al's plans. Okay, I always have baseball on the docket. The game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals. What do you have going on over at PickDawgz Premium?
Yeah, I mean, I can't wait for that game 1. I think this is the most intriguing NHL series in, Jesus, I would say the last 5 to 10 years, in my opinion. But I've got the winner for game 1 of the Stanley Cup. I think it was 71 and 46. My last 117 on the ice. I think that's right. I've got one play in baseball, my non-division game of the month. I've got side and total winners for tomorrow's game 6 between Golden State and Boston. I'm 62-36, my last 98 in basketball. And the best deal of all, of course, is join for a week or for a month or for a year. And just go to PickDawgz, and you can also team me up with one of the other champion handicappers here and, double your profit.
That's right, guys. Get on board with Big Al McMordie over at PickDawgz. Premium seed numbers 3,015 units of profit. The top unit producer over at PickDawgz for 2022. Get on board. Big Al's got plays to throw for you right now. From baseball, he's got a Slapshot NHL club. Also has a couple from the NBA, so he's already in action for that big one tomorrow, that Game 6. Probably your best value instead of buying these plays individually is going with a long-term pass. We've talked about that 7-day pass because that 7-day pass gets you all of Big Al's baseball here for the next 7 days. You're in play here with the remainder of the NBA Finals. If it's a 6-game series or a 7-game series, that's covered under the 7-day All Sports Pass. Also, the first 3 games of the Stanley Cup Finals is covered in that 7-day All Sports Pass. So great value right now is that 7-day pass. Get on board with Big Al McMordie. You can add a second capper with that 2-for-1 cap promotion. Even greater value there. All right, Big Al, it's always great having a show. Continue that success, and we'll talk with you again tomorrow.
Okay, see you Thursday. Thanks, Tony.
You got it. Big Al McMordie here on the drive-thru. Hey, guys, if you missed any of our picks, we'll do a complete recap at the end of the show, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Let's continue on. We're going off to Las Vegas, Nevada, where it is hot out there. Let's bring in Tony Brown, who's been hot on the ice. Tony Brown, what's happening? Actually, we got to go to Skype to bring in Tony. Tony, what's happening?
What's going on, Tony T?
Yeah, it's going great. It's going great. All right, here we go. We're going to look at Major League Baseball here for tonight. One of the hottest teams in baseball, as hot as the weather in Vegas, are the Braves. And the Braves are on the road to face the Nationals. Braves $1.90, total 9.5.
Yeah, if anybody is hotter than the weather in Vegas, it's definitely the Braves. I mean, unless you've been under a rock, you know they're 13-0 in their last 13 games. And, I mean, in baseball, when these streaks happen, they really happen. We've seen already Cincinnati lose a 20-game losing streak. We have the Dodgers go on 10-game losing streaks. And now here we are, the Braves are on a 13-game winning streak. And, I mean, if there's anything more impressive than a 13-game winning streak, it's how they're winning. They won 8 of the last 10 games by the run line. That means they won them by 2 or more because they were favored in every game, so they weren't keeping any games close. They were favored in each game. They won each game by 2 or more runs, so they were run line winners. They won 7 straight on the run line. They won 7 straight on the road. And to top it off, to put the cherry on top of the sundae, they've beaten Washington 5 straight games in Washington. So home field advantage has been no advantage, including both games of this series when they beat them on double run line wins here. So at this point, you know the slogan, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. We're going to look for the Braves to win on the run line and keep this streak going.
Yeah, Tony Brown says take the Braves here on the run line, minus 130 against the Nationals. Yeah, hard to argue that, the way they've looked. And also, that's lost in all this is the Braves, you know, the bats have been there, but to cover the run line, you need your pitching to come through, and the Braves pitching has come through. They're getting really good performances out of the play. Although Ian Anderson's been hot or cold, but it seems that the offense is carrying him. But that bullpen, over their past 10 games, their bullpen has been outstanding, just an ERA of 1.57.
Yeah, and I mean, it wasn't lost on me. That's why I'm picking the Braves. It's not just because they're winning. I said it's how they're winning. They're winning on both sides of the ball. They're winning in the managerial selection part. They're like everything. Their vendors are better. Their crowd's better. They're on the road. They're traveling better. Their trainers are better. Like, this is a complete team effort. And the only reason I think people are shocked is because of the start that the Braves got off to. You know, the Mets started off really good. They had the acquisition of Scherzer, so everybody was like, oh, we got a new sheriff in town. But the Braves just got off to a slow start, which was expected. They still had Acuna Jr. on the injured reserve list. And then the World Series hangover, like we're talking about the defending World Series champs here. So this should kind of be expected, and it's their turn, and we're going to ride this wave all the way to the bank.
Yeah, they made the right moves, right? They got from it. There was one pitcher they moved in. I know they moved Newcomb out. There was another ineffective pitcher they moved out. So they made some changes. These little changes they made. They did the same thing last year, right? Where they made these little tweaks to the team, and they just went. They got the right people in the right place.
Yeah, it's the nuances. Baseball is a very niche-like sport. It's not like football and basketball where it's just, oh, you lose an all-star, you lose the game, and things of that nature. I mean, they got rid of their World Series Freddie Freeman MVP. He was the MVP of the World Series just last year removed. It's not like a long time ago or a couple seasons ago, just from last year. So you think, wow, they moved the MVP of the World Series. These guys are in trouble, and then here, look at them. But doesn't it remind you of what happened over there in Washington? They got rid of Bryce Harper, he goes to Philly, he wins 2 MVPs, you know what I mean? And Washington got the World Series. It's not all about one guy, and so, yeah, they're making the right moves over there in Atlanta, which they've been doing. That's why they're the defending champs. And like I said, we're going to keep this gravy train rolling all the way to the bank.
Yeah, it's pretty sad to think that Fetty's about their most effective pitcher with how bad his numbers are. But when you look at guys like Josiah Gray that never panned in, John Adone, who's been a disaster. I mean, it's just been the pitching. They've never got, like you said, they got Strasburg. They can't, not himself. Scherzer's out of there. They made some changes they haven't recovered from.
Yeah, they outsmarted themselves. They did it once with Bryce Harper, and they won the World Series. But then they were like, okay, now that's the genius move, and let's get rid of Max Scherzer. Let's do this. Let's do that. And now they're one of the worst teams in the league. So, you can't keep on trying to gamble. You're going to end up crapping out. And I know that personal experience over here in Vegas.
Yeah, we're starting to see some September performances. What I'm saying by that, some of these teams looking like they're September dead. We're seeing these run lines come in, right?
Already, man, already. And what is this? Not even July. Already in June, they're looking like, kill it.
They're looking like September dead already. All right, here we go. The Braves run line minus 130 against the Nationals. This one will have a start time of 7 Eastern time, MLB X-Rating channel. All right, Tony Brown, let's take a look over at PickDawgz Pin, where you've been on fire on the ice here. 2,409 units of profit in the NHL. Also showing great profit. All sports combined here. Last 30 days, 1,400 units of profit, showing profit past 7 days. Come off a monster day yesterday. Still 9 games on the board for Major League Baseball here on a Wednesday. It was a 15-game card chiseled down to 9. We'll take that with that one big game 1 from the Stanley Cup Finals. What do you have going on over at PickDawgz Premium?
Yeah, that's the one I'm waiting for. Right after this show, I'm going to find a nice sports book, get a nice cold beer. It's game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals. I can't wait. And, of course, I got a 10-star premium pick on that. Then I got 3 baseball games. I didn't do anything in the morning, so I got 3 baseball games for the 4 o'clock slate or later. They're all 10-star premium picks. You can get one, or you can bundle them up and get all 3 and bang your bookie 3 times over.
That's right, guys. Got over with Tony Brown over at PickDawgz Premium. Of course, he's got his big play up there, his NHL perfect pick up there from the Stanley Cup Finals from one of the top unit producers over at PickDawgz in the NHL this season. MLB perfect pick. Of course, he does have plays up there for you in a MLB Hump Day triple play. You get his 3 best bets in MLB and a 3-pack or that single play up there. Of course, the long-term passes of Silvio. We're talking about that 7-day pass a lot right now because it really is a good value because you figure out the NBA, they're back in action tomorrow, but that 7-day pass will cover you. We know there's a game 6, but if there's a game 7, that 7-day pass will cover you. That 7-day pass will cover you for the first 3 games of the Stanley Cup Finals. And you're talking about Tony Brown with one of the top unit producers in NHL for this season, showing great results here. Also, his MLB is covered. So that the 7-day pass is good. But if you're an everyday grinder where you're in it every single day, Tony Brown, you've got a VIP 1-year sports pass up there.
Yeah, the 1-year sports pass, I mean, when you break it down, it breaks down to like $3 a day. So if you just bought 1 play today for $24, you'd already be like 8 plays in with that pass. So if you're really serious about making money, it's the only way to go. You get every single play I release. There's no upselling. You don't have to buy the MLB pass or the NHL pass. Any single play I release from any sport, and that includes the playoffs, the championships. Like I said, no upselling. Everything I release for a full year, not a full season, a full year, 365 days of play for a little over, like I said, $3 a day. You can't really afford not to grab that pass.
You cannot afford it. It's a great fact. Right now over at PickDawgz, that 1-year all sports pass from Tony Brown. Get on board. You're grinding the day in and day out. Covers all the sports here, there. All right, Tony, it's always great having your show. Continue that success, and we'll talk with you again tomorrow.
All right. Always a pleasure to be here. I appreciate you guys having me, and I'll see you tomorrow. Good luck tonight.
See you tomorrow. Tony Brown here on The Drive to. Let's continue our coverage. Guys, if you missed any of our picks, we'll do a complete recap here at the end of the show. And let's continue on here on the show. And we're going to go ahead and welcome in Al Ninos. You'll find him over at PickDawgz Premium, where, again, he's really doing great work here in the NHL this season. So let's bring in Al Ninos right now. I think we got him ready to roll here. Let's see. We get to him. Here he is right here, Al Ninos. Al, what's happening? Well, I thought we had Al Ninos. I thought we did. I don't know what. I guess he's having some phone issues. But Al Ninos is on deck. And I think we don't have any El Ninos. We don't have El Ninos with us. All right, so hopefully I can text Al to see if he's around here. I know we're having issues here with Ron Zawacky because I understand he was having issues with the wind over there in Canada there. Let's see if I can get in touch with him because I know El Ninos is. Let's see if I can get him on. Right now, give him a little text to see if I can get a hold of El Ninos. You're on, El Ninos. Get on. get on the show. All right, let's continue on, guys. Oh, there he is. You there, Al? We're seeing some movement. There you go. You're on live, Al.
Yeah, Tony.
What's happening? All right, Al, let's get your game up here right now here. As we're going to talk about, you're looking at this Cubs and Padres game here with the Cubs laying $1.41. The total sits at 12. I have no idea what's going on with El Ninos over there. Let's see. All right. You there?
Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah, okay. So what you got on the Cubs and Padres?
Yeah, rough pitching matchup here for both teams, actually. Ryan Weathers getting his start here for the Padres. Of course, they've been one of the harder teams in the league here still without Tatis Jr., but playing very well on offense, which they will need tonight. I think Weathers will need a few runs here from his offense. But I think the Cubs not exactly sending an ace out there either. So you could look at the over here, but it is set pretty steep. So I'm gonna take a shot here with the Padres on the money line. Hope Ryan Weathers gets us there.
Yeah, I don't think you will, but you better hope the bullpen. I think the bullpen can, and that's. I mean, I know it's funny to say that because Weathers was just a mess last year. We were joking about Ryan Weathers earlier, and it's again sometimes you got to have a short memory, but man, last year was just a disaster for Weathers. And if you look at his minor league numbers, they're not very good either. So I mean, I understand where you're coming from. The Padres plus 121 looks good. Again, the Cubs have just looked terrible, right? That's really what it is. And again, I understand it because it's the price in this one.
Yeah, I'm just going here, taking a shot with the dog that, their offense, I said, has been hot. It's not like the Cubs are sending out an ace, as I said. Their offense, the Cubs have been struggling, so I'm not ready to lay juice. I don't care if it's Ryan Weathers on the other side. I think he's got the much better offense backing him up, and as I said, I think he gets enough run support here, so I'll take the plus money.
Yeah, that's a good statement because, of course, Caleb Killian up there is not really put up. If you're not familiar with Killian, no record here for the Cubs is an ERA here of 5.5. He's going to make his second career Major League start. He gave 3 runs and 2 walks in 5 innings against the Cardinals. And, of course, the reason he's in there because the Cubs have a lot of injuries to their starting rotation, so they're forced to bring in Killian. This is not the pitcher they want in there. But, again, when you're dealing with injuries on Stroman, Wade Miley's hurt, Drew Smiley's hurt, Albert Alzolay is hurt, you've got to look, and Killian is the guy they pencil in here.
Yeah, again, I mean, you have, as I said, Ryan Weathers, no good. His numbers aren't any good, but, I mean, I think it's almost insulting to him, this line is, I think. But hey, we'll take it. And, it might not be the prettiest pick, but I think we're getting some decent value with the team playing much better baseball.
Yeah, and also we do pick on Ryan Weathers. Remember, he's only 22 years old, right? Think about this. He got into baseball in 2018, and he's 22 years old. He was 18 years old when he got into rookie ball, and he was called into San Diego last year and was just beat around. ERA over 5. Had struggles there, and of course in El Paso his ERA is 7.29, WHIP of 1.85. So he's been kind of on the fast track, and it was a first-round pick in 2018. Went right to the minor leagues, right. And after that 2018 draft, went to the minor leagues and has had some struggles. So he's still 22 years old. There's a lot of upside on this kid, even though we made fun of him. Sometimes we think, well, maybe he's a 24-year-old kid, spent time with him. I know he wasn't really well seen in the minors. He was kind of rushed in their system.
Yeah, I remember they had high hopes for him when they brought him in, but it hasn't exactly panned out as they had hoped. But as you said, he's still young, still a lot of. Hopefully, he still has a long career in front of him, and hopefully he starts fixing his numbers up tonight. I mean, he's not facing the toughest lineup either.
No, he's not, but he's facing the weather. And what can he weather the weather? That's the thing. You're dealing with a 15-mile-an-hour wind blowing out at Wrigley, right? We're seeing this here. Actually, it's 17. It's not 18 like last night. It went down 1. Hot weather, wind blowing out here. It's 17 miles an hour. That's why you see the total of 12.
Yeah, that's not going to help him. But again, it's not like he's facing the Yankees. But,
that's right. He's not facing the Yankees. He's facing the Cubs, so that might be help there. Now I think twice. Maybe the Padres is the right one. All right, let's go. I thought the Padres. I was looking more at the total on that one, but that's still a high total at 12.
No, it's tempting. It's very tempting given the pitchers, the conditions, and all that. And the Padres, the offense has been clicking even without their best hitter. So it's very tempting, but it is a pretty high number here. And again, Cubs not the best offense in the league. So I'm going to pass on the total and take a shot with the plus
But
one.
sometimes, and I will say sometimes the second time through the major leagues, we saw that with the McKenzie, right, from Cleveland last year. His first run through Major League Baseball was a disaster. His second run, much more successful. He's stuck. We'll see if that happens to Weathers the second time through Major League Baseball. Still a 22-year-old kid, right? He got into rookie ball in 18, so his second time through the majors could stick. Kind of like the horse, right? Second time off layoff, second race in, second time in. Let's see if he can get the job done. All right, Padres plus 121 against the Cubs. This one will have a start time here of 8 Eastern time. All right, Ninos, let's take a look over at PickDawgz Premium, where you've been the top unit producer in the NHL for this season. 3,104 units of profit for Ninos over at PickDawgz. Also showing profit in Major League Baseball. Good profit here, 733 units of profit. Coming off a monster day. Look like you hit 9 of your past 10 games. My goodness, Ninos has been on absolute fire here. Showing profit the last for the year, for the past 30 days, past 7 days, last 24 hours, 655 units of profit. All right, Ninos, what do you have going on over at PickDawgz Premium?
I got a 3-pack with my best bet in the Stanley Cup Game 1 tonight. And it's mixed in there with 2 MLB bets. So I have a 3-pack that's all MLB if you're just into that. And I do have an extra play in baseball for everyone on the long-term passes. So make sure you get one of those or grab the 2-for-1 capper specials.
That's right. I got about with Ninos over at PickDawgz Premium, showing great profit here for this season. Top unit producer in NHL, and of course monster days here, last 30 days, last 7 days, yesterday for this year, also showing profit. Of course, Ninos has a 3-pack. Get his best bets tonight in a 3-pack. He calls it his hat trick, his best bet from the NHL, and his 2 best bets from baseball. Affordably priced, just $40. Of course, a lot of other individual plays up there. But again, probably your best value here is go long-term with Ninos. Also, too, you could also look at, we're talking about that 7-day pass. It's a good value right now because the 7-day pass will guarantee the remainder of the NBA Finals. You'll get Game 6. If there's a Game 7 will fit in that 7-day All-Sports Pass. Also fitting in that 7-day All-Sports Pass is the first 3 games of the Stanley Cup Finals. We have a rotation here of Wednesday, Saturday, and Monday. That fits nicely into that 7-day All-Sports Pass. Also 7 days of baseball from Ninos. Of course, Ninos showing great profit here over at PickDawgz. A good time to get on board. You can add a second capper with that 2-for-1 capper promotion. Even greater value there. All right, Al, as always, great having you on the show. Continue that success, and we'll talk with you again tomorrow.
All right, thanks, Tony. Have a good one.
Seems you figured out that background on the Skype, right?
Sorry, what?
You figured out the background on the Skype now. It's all blurred.
Yeah, I was trying. Yeah. Well, at least I got it blurred. Right? My car looks better like this, doesn't it?
Yeah, I gotcha. It looks better there. It's all blurred in the background. All right, Ninos here on the drive. We'll talk with him again tomorrow. All right, let's continue on, guys. If you missed any of our picks, we'll do a complete recap at the end of the show. Up next is Rod Zawacky, but Rod is dealing with some high winds. I can't see him on my screen. Let me see if I pull up the screen to see if he's in there. But I'll just go to his camera to see if he's back, if he's signed in. Let's see if he's signed in. He is not, so I assume I do have his pick. So we'll give his pick at the end of the show. He was dealing with some high winds. He sent me a text showing the issues there he's having with his internet. So we'll continue on here with the show and go ahead and welcome in Mitch. We'll be up next. You'll find him over at PickDawgz, part of that morning show. He does Monday through Friday. Let's go ahead and bring in Mitch right now. We got him ready to go. Here he is. Mitch, what's happening?
Nothing much. Just I've been here ready to go, and I saw Al Ninos' phone on the floor, whatever the hell was going on there. I ran over. I normally, I come on for the intro, then I kind of walk away, do whatever I need to do, and then come back. And I heard that, so I ran over. So I'm ready to go. Hopefully Rod makes it back to round out the show at the end.
Yeah, hopefully so. All right, Mitch, here we go for tonight's game here. Going out to the West Coast at 10 Eastern time. MLB Network has the Dodgers. They're hosting the Angels. Dodgers at $2, total 8.5.
Yeah, I don't have a lot left to work with here today, so kind of trying to just navigate my way around with what I have left to work with. And to me, this just seems like a logical spot to see some runs. Not the best pitching options on the mound for either of these teams. And, really not a lot of bettable stuff here that I don't have a premium pick on, and that one of the other cappers hasn't already covered. So, I went with the over in this game. I think, to me, Anderson, once a Pirate, always a Pirate, and Detmers, well, you get what you get. So I just think 9 runs, both these teams, a little bit of frustration there. So I think we could see this one go double digits, no problem.
All right, and it says go over the total here in this one between the Dodgers and the Angels. And, of course, Mitchell, looking at this one, the bats have not been there for the Dodgers. I know there's some long-term concern. There's some little chatter out here. They need to trade for a bat. They're concerned also about their pitching staff. Buehler, we've seen the strikeouts go down. We've seen the velocity go down. But the concern here, I think, with both clubs is their lack of hitting here against lefties of late.
Yeah, I think both the teams have been hitting poorly against lefties. But there's one thing when you're facing solid lefties, and there's another thing when you're facing Detmers and Anderson. And I think there is a differentiation there. It's not just a blanket statement. You're facing a lefty. I think there are certain lefties that are better than other lefties, and these lefties aren't better than anybody. So I think that you kind of have that situation. I mean, maybe they're better than Weathers, but of course, but that's not saying much. It's like, who's the lamest lefty on the board today? I mean, there's several of them. So you got a lot to work with here. I mean, Long wasn't so fantastic for San Francisco today, losing to the Royals at minus, 2 whatever he was.
Corbin's another bad one.
We've got quite a few.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, so we got Mitch here on the Angels and Dodgers going over a total of 8.5. It's also you're dealing with the bullpens here, right? The Dodger bullpen has not looked very sharp of late, and the Angels, well, they've had struggles for years.
Yeah, I think the Dodgers pitching staff just isn't what Dodger quality. It's like you have Buehler, who, like you said, he looks a little tired, if anything. He doesn't have that. I said this about Buehler for a long time. He's going to have good numbers. He's going to have stuff that looks good on paper. But, as a number one pitcher, it's like you have to be better than that. And it's like you have to figure out a way to not just necessarily put up numbers, but to pitch better than the guy that you're facing off against. And, that's the differential, because if you're number one, you need to be able to throw a shutout once in a while. You need to be able to do that. And it's like, it's okay to have a sub-2 ERA and, all that other stuff. But if the 2 runs come, when the other guy pitches the shutout, well, that's a loss. And, in a game that your team could win. I just think the pitching staff without May, without, real Kershaw, without, it just doesn't seem to be there. Urias has never developed into the player they had hoped that he would be. So while the bats haven't gotten it done, I think the bats are more likely to come around than this pitching staff.
Yeah, I think, it's of course, the case in point, guy Tyler Anderson. Actually, it's not been a good start to the season. 7.0 ERA, 3.07, WHIP of 1.02. But you said that Pirate form at some point is coming in. There'll be regression.
Yeah, it's just a matter of not if, but when. And it's like the better his numbers get, the more likely it is that we're going to see a blow-up performance from him. Yeah, the Dodgers are dealing with a lot of injuries that we talked about. Of course, Heaney was someone that actually they figured him out, right? He had that funky curveball. I think there was some pitch that he was throwing that was being effective, and then he got out, and there was some hope for Heaney that he might have been able to do something for this team. We made fun of him last year, but this year he did show something. Yeah, I mean, we've made fun of him for years, but, it's like at this point he's a crafty veteran. Kevin Gausman was a guy who was similar to that, for most of his career, was one of those guys with the world of potential, when he was pitching in Baltimore, getting beaten up on a nightly basis. And then all of a sudden last year we saw him in San Francisco become a viable pitcher, and then moving to Toronto, he's been okay. He hasn't been quite as good as he was last year, but that's besides the point. But the thing is that, I think he need kind of that. It's just after a while, maybe he finally becomes the pitcher that he was supposed to be to begin with. It's like, I think the young pitchers come in, they try and overpower, they try and do all these things that, it's not always in their best interest. And it's like, you can get a pitching coach to explain to them how Greg Maddux never really had overpowering stuff, but managed to have a hell of a major league career just by throwing the ball over the plate, and mixing it up. And, eventually the older these guys get, the more they buy into it. I mean, we even saw Rich Hill throw a tremendous game earlier this season against Shohei Ohtani. That showdown at Fenway Park was really one of the better pitch games we've seen all season. And, Rich Hill, not a guy we're used to seeing stuff like that, but when you have a veteran, that knows all this stuff, it's kind of, it's fun to watch. And we saw Dennis Eckersley reinvent himself at the end of his career. We've seen guys do it time and time again. And I think Kershaw has the type of ability to do the same thing if he really wanted to, but I'm just not sure he wants to. Yeah, and someone who's kind of lost in the shuffle here has been David Price. Yeah, he's just, he's one of those things where it's like the Dodgers, eat contracts for other teams on a regular basis, and then they can afford it. But the issue is that at a certain point you have to pay the piper on this stuff, and David Price might be one of those situations where he has the ability to contribute, but how much do you pay for a long reliever? It's too much. $35 million is a lot of money for a guy that pitches like he does. $35 million is a lot for anybody in anything.
Yeah, a lot. And of course, the Bauer situation. Danny Duffy didn't even throw a ball. Hasn't pitched at all.
Yeah, I consider the Bauer situation the same thing that happened. Everyone knows I love college football, but it's the same thing that happened in the post-Tim Tebow era at Florida when Cam Newton was supposed to be the next, guy that replaced him. All of a sudden, Cam Newton's kicked out of the University of Florida, and you don't have that guy anymore. And I think Bauer was supposed to be that guy, and they invested in him. And while you think that, well, it's the Dodgers and they can just go out and get whoever they want. I mean, there's not that many Bauers that are actually available every season, that have that kind of ability. So, when they signed Bauer, they didn't figure to have him for half of a season. They figured, that he would be there 3 or 4 years at least, kind of like how Greinke was for them, where he kind of was just kind of that guy who was a number 2, but he had the ability to be a number 1 if called upon. And I think, you get the rotation, you start looking, and, we've already talked through it. You go and it's Bueller, May, Bauer, right? Gonzalez. It's like all of a sudden it becomes a viable rotation, but that's not what it is. It's Tyler Anderson, who, in no real world situation would he be a playoff starter for a professional baseball team.
No. He's more like those long relievers you see. I think what we see now in the playoffs, it's 3 guys and then the bullpen, right? That's pretty much what we're seeing.
Yeah, I mean that's the secret. And then even the bigger the games get, those 3 guys come out of the bullpen,
Oh yeah,
and continue to pitch. So we've seen it happen where all it takes is 2 of those guys to win 2 games and you're a World Series champion. We saw Josh Beckett do it that year with Miami.
I was thinking about the same thing about that manager. I forgot his name, but man, it was with the cigar and the mustache. It was he would throw his pitchers in there. So I want my best guys out there.
Yeah, that's what you really want. You want your best pitchers to be out there the most.
Dontre Willis.
Yeah, they had Penny. They had they were stacked. That was all trading away all those veterans when they had that Charles Johnson and the guy who peed on his hands that eventually was the Bartman game guy. He was on that team. They had what was his name again? Moises Alou. Yeah.
Yeah. That was a really good team. The manager was a real character. He at one point wasn't he a general manager and he went back to his manager again?
It was Jack McKeon.
Jack McKeon, that's right. There we go. Trader Jack.
Yeah, I think he also managed the Pirates at one point. But it's like, to me, the Dodgers. It's like the nice thing that they have going for them is that they can win with what they have and stay competitive, and there will be teams that tail off. And we already know some of the names that are going to be available at the trade deadline, like Jose Quintana. But how much are you willing to give for Quintana? It's like it's doubtful the Pirates are going to get what the White Sox got for him, Eloy Jimenez and Dylan Cease once upon a time for Jose Quintana in one of the worst trades in Cubs history, I'm sure. But,
I still think Tyler Mahle might be a guy that gets moved to somebody. I see some quality in him.
And Castillo as well, who pitched today for the Reds, and there's several guys like that should be available at the trade deadline, but it's just a matter of how deep are you willing to go. It's like the Pirates are probably going to trade Quintana. I doubt they're going to trade Contreras. It's like not going to happen, and there'll be some other guys available as well, like how about if Seattle falls out of it? Is Marco Gonzalez available? He actually pitched really well today, and he's not going to be on the right side of things.
He's a high contact guy, so you got to be careful what ballpark he ends up in. That's the thing with those high contact guys.
But he can log some innings, and I think that's what the Dodgers are probably lacking. And we see the Red Sox in the same area. It's like when your starting pitchers can only go 5 innings, all of a sudden it gets thrown on the bullpen, and you can see what's happened in Milwaukee and in Los Angeles with the Angels. When you only have a staff that can only go 5 innings, it's like eventually your bullpen just they can't take the weight of it on their shoulders anymore.
All right, Mitch. I want you to let everybody know what's happening over. The chat room's getting restless, man. They're getting restless over there. What's happening over at PickDawgz?
But they're not enjoying it. I'm not.
Hurry up! We gotta get our bets in.
Oh, what are they? Oh, I'll give out more bets. We can. I looked at the player props over at Sports Chat Place. I was looking at this because we were kind of at the point in the show where like a lot of the games had already started. So like I had the Twins as my big play today, my $15 big play. But I was looking at the player props, and I love the way the player props, for me, the ones that have really been hitting really well and have been paying really well, so you guys should check these out, are the if you go to player props, right, and you look at markets, strikeouts thrown. This is the one it's been straight money. So like if you can find the value on the strikeouts thrown, like, so listen to this one. McClanahan tonight against the Yankees, over 6.5 strikeouts. He's done that 5 out of his last 5 games. It's minus 136. So it's not the best odds in the world, but it's a hell of a lot better than laying minus 200 on some of these other games that are out there. Caprillion, under 3.5 strikeouts, 80% of the time. Zimmerman, under 3.5 strikeouts, 80% of the time. Tony's guy, Weathers, under 3.5 is minus 190, though. You got to really pay up, but you can pick your way through this. And there's some good value. You know, the other night it had Justin Verlander at under 6.5 strikeouts, something you would never think, right, would be a good bet. But the betting tool showed it as an 80% win rate on that. And sure enough, you know, he was under. He was at 6.
That was good. Hey, Mitch, we got to roll because we got Rod's just signed in, so we got to
go
up against it. All right. I'll talk to you later. We're going to go hard cam right here, right to you, Rod. Get ready. Here's Rod Zawacky. Rod, what's happening?
Hey, not too much. Windy as heck here today. It's blowing at 90 to 100 kilometers an hour. Crazy here today. So good old prairie winds.
Prairie winds are in. All right, here we go. At 8:40 Eastern Time, Rockies here to host the Guardians here. Rockies $1.12, total of 12 in this one.
Yeah, you look at this game and you got Pinkerton's going to, or Pilkington, Connor Pilkington is going to get the start. Small sample size for him. He's only pitched 22 innings so far. His last time out, he pitched 5.2 innings, gave up 4 earned runs in that contest. They still got the win because we're playing Oakland. But you gave up 4 runs against Oakland. It's going to be tough to win. Probably going to be tough in this one as well. You look him away, Pilkington, in these early. He's got a 5 ERA on the road, over 5 innings of work. And you look, even at night, he's not even better at night. 0-0 is his record at night over, and he's got a 5.25 ERA over 12 innings of work. So for some reason, he's not so good on pitching at night. And you look at Austin Gomber. We've seen him. He's pitched some good starts, but he has pitched some real bummer starts as well, where he's given up 9 runs, 8 runs. But his last time out, he went 6 innings, gave up 5 hits, 2 earned runs. And that was against the Giants. So I'm expecting him to continue that trend in the right direction here and get ourselves a win. We're going to take the Rockies. You look at the Indians batting against left-handed starters. They're only batting .228. Yep. And you look at the Rockies compared to their batting average against lefties. .279 with a .343 on-base percentage and average about 5 runs over 9 innings. So we're going to take the Rockies here at the plus price. Guardians 1-8 last 9 trips to Colorado. So we're also going to take you look at the underdogs in interleague play this season. 63-47 are these underdogs in interleague play. So let's take the Rockies here. Nice plus price.
Yeah, well, they made the Rockies a favorite now. They're down to minus
12.
Yeah, they're riding the Rockies. They like the Rockies, and they see what you're seeing. They see what you see.
Yeah, right. So then, wow. So then, if you look at that stat there, I got the Rockies are 36-16. The last 52 is a favorite. So since that's flipped to a favorite, I like it even more. Man, I double up my bet.
There we go. Rockies minus 112 against the Guardians. This one to have a start time of 8:40 Eastern Time, MLB Extra Innings Channel. All right, Rod, let's take a look over at PickDawgz, where you're doing great work in the NHL. 610 units of profit. Still 9 games here from Major League Baseball. And, of course, that one big Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals. What do you have going over at PickDawgz Premium?
Yeah, going on to PickDawgz Premium, I've got one play in baseball left, which I've signaled it as by itself, and then I've got one play in tonight's NHL contest over there and over at PickDawgz Premium. My $15 bookie buster went off earlier. I had the Twins on the run line. Looks like that one wrapped up and moved to 11-4 on it. So I got a couple plays left over there at PickDawgz Premium. Scoop them up or grab something long term. 3 days, 7 days, 30 days. As you can see, the last week we've been up units as well. So many ways to make some money. Head on over to PickDawgz Premium and scoop something up. Love tonight's hockey game. I'm so excited.
Oh, yes. Big one tonight. Game 1 is exciting here with a great series, Avalanche and Lightning. You got to love it here. Of course, Rod has that winner tonight on the Stanley Cup Finals. Get on board with that. And I sold it a single play. Also, individual plays up there from Rod. He called it Rod's Bookie Buster Week 1. 1 week all sports pass. That's the great value right there. 1 week of plays from Rod that covers you for the remainder of the NBA playoffs. If it's a 6 or a 7 game series, you're covered. You're covered for the first 3 games of the Stanley Cup Finals, because we're on this Wednesday, Saturday, Monday rotation. That fits nicely into that 7-day all sports pass, as well as 7 days of baseball from Rod Zawacky. Add a second capper with 2-for-1 cap promotion. Even greater value there. All right, Rod, as always, great having a show. Have yourself a great evening. We'll talk with you again on Steak Friday.
And hey, one quickly, I'm going to say
that's right.
Mercado of the Indians. Take him to under 0.5 hits. I don't think he gets a hit tonight at all. That's hit 4 of the last 5 times, and you can get that at a nice plus 175. So
that's
Mercado
right.
of the Indians, no hits.
No hits. That was the extra
that's
play.
My bonus play. Yeah,
Yep.
That was the extra play that I had for
Yes.
if you hit the likes of we got over 100 last time. So there's your bonus play. Take Mercado under hits.
Yes,
and,
under
that's
hits.
Plus 170, plus 175 winner. So
You got it.
let's
There you
hit that
go.
one as
Rod
well.
delivers on the promise. We thank you guys for your likes yesterday and as well as replay. All right, Rod, have a great evening. Enjoy the game tonight. We'll talk with you again on Friday.
Yep, you too. Take care, Tony. Have a good evening.
All right, Rod Zawacky here on the drive. Let's continue on here with the coverage, guys. We'll have the recap for you in just a minute. My game starts at 7:10, so a little bit of time here. Sorry for the long show. Again, we wanted to get Rod in, no doubt about that. He's giving you some great information and some picks. Let's get to my pick here, guys. We're going to go ahead and you still got time on this one. No need to rush. Hold your horses here. Here we go. At 7 Eastern time. It's not 7, 7:10 Eastern time. Mets here to host the Brewers. The Brewers favorite here, $1.36. Total sits at 7.5. I will be on the home team here on the New York Mets, plus 116 against the Brewers. We know the Mets are a really good home team. And I'm going to just make sure Peterson is, I always get nervous when I give out picks and I don't look at the current pitching lineup here. I just want to make sure there's no late changes. Nope, it is Peterson still on the mound. So we got Peterson here against Corbin Burnes. We know Corbin Burnes can put up some really good numbers. He deals good ground balls, 1.1 home runs per 9 innings. But Peterson's no slouch. An ERA of 3, whip of 1.25, strikeout rate of 21%, 52% on the ground balls, a better home run rate than Corbin Burnes. Of course, as we know, the Mets win the opener of this series 4-0. The Brewers, they've lost 9 of 10. They're hitting just .216. Their bullpen, an ERA of 5.59. Of course, their one stud it comes in the 9th at the head, but we're going to bet that they're not going to be in head in this game by the 9th inning. We're going to go ahead and take the Mets here at the price here at the plus 116. So we like this one here with the Mets plus 116 here against the Brewers. This one will have a start time here of 7 p.m. Eastern time, 7:10 Eastern time. You got some time for this one over on MLB Extra News channel. Guys, I have a 3-pack up there at PickDawgz, my 3 best bets from Major League Baseball. Also, my $15 premium pick is still up there, coming off a 4-0 day yesterday. Hit my $15 as well as my 3-pack. I am the number 2 unit producer over at PickDawgz in Major League Baseball, so get on board with one of my passes for tonight or the long-term pass, 3, 7, or 30-day all sports pass. You get all of my premium plays for that period of time you select. When you go to the Handicapper page and make that purchase, you can match me up with on 2-for-1 cap promotion with Rod, with Mitch, with Big Al, McMordie, Little Al, Tony Brown, of course, Mitch. 2-for-1 cap promotion, your best value over at PickDawgz. Let's get right to the recap. And we start off with Chris. Chris was on the Blue Jays team total over 5.5 against the Orioles. Al McMordie, Rays plus 120 against the Yankees. Tony Brown, Braves run line minus 130 against the Nationals. Al Ninos, Padres plus 121 against the Cubs. Rod Zawacky on the Rockies minus 112 against the Guardians. Mitch was on the Angels, Dodgers over 8.5. Yours truly, Mets plus 116 against the Brewers. The one I like the most here. Which one do I like the most? Give me the Blue Jays team total over 5.5 here against the Orioles. Orioles, I got a starter that gives up 2.18 home runs per 9 innings. Look for the Blue Jays to get either 6 or more runs on this Baltimore Orioles team. That'll do it for this edition of the Drive-Thru, guys. Thanks for bearing with us a little bit. We got through the show. We wanted to make sure we got Rod in, and we got through it. And we'll be back again tomorrow live at 6 p.m. Eastern time. We'll do it all over again. We'll bring in all the cappers, our scheduled cappers from PickDawgz and Sport Chat Place. They'll give out live free picks for the games in prime time. And don't forget to get started every day, sometime between 9 and 10 a.m. Eastern time. You got the morning show with Mitch. You got Chris. You got Brian Bittler. And, of course, Mitch's 7 picks in 5 minutes. And stay tuned. Right at the top of the hour, we got the MMA show with Mills and Brad Francis. So we're going to lead you right in that show. So once we come down, refresh the screen, you'll see their card up for their show. So tune into the MMA show here at 7 Eastern time. I'm Tony T. We'll bring in the group here from tonight. Wave good night to you guys. Get you ready for the MMA show, and we'll talk to you guys again tomorrow live at 6 Eastern.